Hi, welcome to AIHA Network TV. I'm Ed Rutkowski. I'm the editor of the Synergist magazine, and I'm here with AIHA CEO Larry Sloan and Government Relations Director Mark Ames to talk about a very timely issue, and that's what's going on in Congress that AIHA members should be aware of. Larry, I'll start with you. What should AIHA members be aware of regarding congressional funding and what?
So when we start talking about what we're excited about here in Washington, first of all, we've got the appointment of the new Secretary of Labor, Alexander Acosta, and we're very excited about what he can do for the industrial hygiene profession. We are a little bit concerned about the silica rule with respect to the fact that it is stuck right now in limbo, and that's a very important rule for the industry. As you know, exposure to silica can cause all sorts of issues with respect to lung cancer. And so we're hopeful that that will push through and that the new silica rule will take effect shortly.
President Trump is, of course, really interested in unleashing the power of American ingenuity and ensuring that there's really strong economic growth. So as part of that, again, all agencies are looking at all rules. And so when Secretary Acosta was asked several times during a hearing, then he didn't say no, he wouldn't, that he would oppose it, but he also didn't say that he would support it. So that is a good sign in many ways, and certainly is an opportunity for us to go in and have a conversation with him to make sure that he understands really all the technical reasons that led up to that rule. So it's a great opportunity for us to go in with our members and further engage with the new administration.
There's some other issues as well that are of interest to the industry, and that is OSHA's Voluntary Protection Program, or called VPP. There is a bipartisan bill that would support the reauthorization of VPP. It's HR 1444. There's a large infrastructure bill that's being put together as well. Regulatory reform, the 2-for-1, if you will. For every one new regulation that's proposed, you need to eliminate or look at canceling out 2 older ones. The issue with that is that we want to make sure that regulations that affect worker health and safety are not subject to that 2-for-1 provision. And this gets back to what Mark just said about hard science.
We want to help the policymakers who might not have that technical background understand why these rules were put in place, and just as importantly, if there is a desire to change them in any way, that it's done with full transparency and an opportunity for the affected professions and the general public to provide comments on proposed rulemakings and related actions.
Mark, you brought up the funding, and I know a lot of our members are concerned about that process. What are AIHA's funding priorities for Congress, and how are they developed?
Well, first of all, we're very concerned about funding for OSHA, also MSHA or NISHA, and NIOSH. And we have a very, very close relationship with NIOSH, as you know. And so with the NIOSH, we have what are called the Education and Research Centers, the ERCs, and we're concerned about funding cutbacks that would affect the viability of these centers. We also have some other programs that Mark can comment on.
Yeah, sure. So the Ag Centers under NIOSH are something that our members really care about. That's an industry that really benefits from a lot of attention with regard to worker health and safety. And really when I go out to the local sections, without exception, when I ask them what federal programs are really important to them, they always mention the ERCs.
How are AIHA members affected by those programs?
Well, the programs support the discovery and distribution of knowledge, standards, training, and other outreach efforts to better protect worker health and safety. Our members work in and with these programs. They lend their professional expertise to further advance our collective goals. And then they also support a critical goal for the association, which is to strengthen the workforce pipeline for industrial hygienists.
And what might happen if funding for these programs is cut?
Well, the concern obviously is that more workers could become hurt. And from a broader perspective, the research that goes into the development of new technologies and new ways to help protect workers would be negatively impacted. So it's not only the short-term concerns about workers in the field, whether you're working in manufacturing or construction, it's the research that goes into the next generation of worker health and safety protection.
Great. Well, thank you, Larry. Thank you, Mark, for talking today about these very important issues, and thanks to our viewers for watching.